now is Republican Party chairman for both of those states. We have Matt Borges of Ohio and Blaise Ingoglia of Florida. Gentlemen, thanks so much for being here.
Morning. Thanks for having us.
Okay, Matt, I know that you are all endorsing hometown favorite John Kasich. Yet, Blaise, you're from Florida. Why are you not endorsing the hometown candidate, Marco Rubio?
Well, the Republican Party of Florida has historically stayed out of these contests. It's just a decision that we've made, and we are going to support the eventual nominee. It's just a decision that we've made.
Okay, so let's look at the latest poll numbers because these are just out this morning and they're very telling. Let's start in Florida, Blaise, because this is very striking. Donald Trump has 46% in this Quinnipiac poll. Marco Rubio has less than half that at 22%. Ted Cruz 14%, John Kasich 10%. As you know, Blaise, I mean, Marco Rubio has said Florida is make or break for him. I don't know that he has said that there's a path for him if he doesn't win Florida. What do you think of these latest poll numbers?
Well, what we do know about the polls is that the polls this election cycle have been all over the place. If you remember, the polling heading into Virginia had Marco Rubio down 15, and he eventually was down 3 points. And look at the polling in Michigan for the Democrat primary. Hillary Clinton was up 20 points in that and eventually lost. But what I will tell you about the polling is I think the race is a lot closer than some of these polling have suggested, because some of these polls are calling people and asking themselves to self-identify as Republicans. Other polls that we have seen would show a much tighter race are calling off of the voter rolls. So we think that the race is a lot tighter than what the polls are saying.
Okay, Matt, let's look at the latest polling out this morning for Ohio. It is neck and neck. Also a really interesting snapshot here. John Kasich has always said he's going to win. He's very confident, very bullish on Ohio. He said that is his path forward. He thinks that if he wins Ohio, he'll have new momentum, and that will propel him to the convention. But at 38%, what do you think is going to happen in Ohio tomorrow?
I think John Kasich wins tomorrow. I think we've done a better job tactically on the ground and chasing absentee voters. We've been voting here in Ohio for about 4 weeks. So we have 28 days of early voting here in Ohio, thanks to Republican leadership. And I think that we've done well in that part of the voting. And then John Kasich has surged. We saw him surge at the end in Michigan. We saw it in New Hampshire. We'll see it again here when the final results come in tomorrow. And I think at the end of the night, John Kasich will carry Ohio and then set this election on an entirely different course.
Donald Trump had not said much about John Kasich. He's the one candidate that Donald Trump had sort of glossed over and hadn't gone after. But it's starting because they're so close in Ohio. Trump had tweeted this: because Governor Kasich cannot run in the state of Pennsylvania, he cannot win the nomination and should not be allowed to compete in Ohio on Tuesday. Matt, what do you think of that reasoning?
For Donald, it's not the first thing Donald Trump's been wrong about in this campaign. He doesn't like to lose. He's going to lose here in the Buckeye State tomorrow. He's completely wrong about what he's saying about Governor Kasich. He's tried to exclude lots of other people from running against him, and now he's saying that John Kasich shouldn't even be allowed to run in his home state. And what an idiotic statement that is. And of course, John Kasich will be on the ballot in Pennsylvania, so all this is much ado about nothing. And again, John Kasich wins Ohio tomorrow, and so we're very excited about the prospect of him having those 66 delegates go to the convention for John Kasich.
Just for a little background, the chairman of Pennsylvania Students for Rubio had filed a petition saying that John Kasich had failed to get the 2,000 signatures required for Pennsylvania. As you know, the Kasich campaign had said that's ludicrous. They turned in 2,184 signatures above the 2,000. Blaise, given that that was a Rubio supporting group, are you comfortable that Kasich will be on the ballot in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I think so. Look, what we've seen is that a lot of these lawsuits being filed, it's political theater, but at the end of the day, we fully expect that all of these candidates are going to be on the ballot in these remaining states.
Gentlemen, I want to ask both of you about the violence. Let me just move on to the violence that we've seen at the Trump rallies, where Various protesters have been hurt one way or another. Trump has said it's not his responsibility if protesters come and sort of sow unrest and then get hurt in the melee. That's not his responsibility. Matt, what do you think about the violence that we've seen and whether or not John Kasich has said enough about it?
Well, I think the governor came out very strongly and said that this is the end result of the type of division that we've been saying in Ohio has been the wrong kind of message Donald Trump's been carrying for months. We've not been silent on that at all. You know, and then we've got the bullying left who doesn't want folks to be able to express their opinions, and the natural clash they then had. It was provoked in a lot of ways, unfortunately, and we need some calm. That this is not something that our process, our system should be proud of, and so I think we need some more civility, and it's the kind of campaign that John Kasich has run from the very beginning. He said he's not going to get down the mud with these folks, and it is in such stark contrast to the way Donald Trump has ginned up this kind of sentiment, and it's been really unfortunate. It won't help us carry the state in November. Everyone knows we have to win Ohio if we want to win a general election, and Donald Trump's just got the wrong message this year.
Matt, Blaze, thank you. We appreciate you helping us preview all of the big